Hello guys, welcome to the stream. Hope you hear me well and my music is fine, isn't too loud, and my voice is fine. I welcome you here. Today we are going to review once again the updated top list that was somehow changed after the last patch. Last patch gave 4 reworks to us. It was Hashashin, it was Lancer, it was Archer, and it was Windwalker. So accordingly to the updates, to the buffs, they received higher rankings in my top ranking list, and this is what we are going to review in this video. As well, we will at the end we will check the top 5 meta that is currently in my opinion this week available for us on global. So without further ado, let's begin as always with the first category ranking that I have in my top list, which is Arena PvP ranking, which is solo arena, 1 versus 1, normal arena, Karkia, and ranked PvP. So as we all see, first place is going to remain for the LAN due to her unique survivability, endless survivability, and great unique passive that she has, which is 20% damage reduction, 20% damage boost to the skills, cooldown reduction to the blinks, and so on. So you all know how great is her unique. Yes, it's not the easiest class to play with because you have to know how to catch players with LAN, but still she remains, in my opinion, top 1 arena PvP ranking class. Second class is going to be Sura with his ridiculous damage. As you can see, it's 23k damage of combo damage. He still remains second place. Amazing evasion, amazing catching abilities, but he doesn't have passive, which will change tomorrow. All of you know that tomorrow Sura will receive update, and of course once again he will change in ranking. Destroyer remaining number 3 for his ridiculous ability to survive once again, and also he gained a little bit of buff to catch players, but I didn't include this in ranking because he is already quite high in ranking in 1 versus 1 PvP. Fourth place is remaining for Lotus. Again, her passive is great. Gains 2 points for her passive because it gives her damage, it gives her survivability, it gives her many stuff, and also the ability to do lots of damage while being immune to grabs and to any CCs makes her a great class for arena PvP. And fifth place goes to Kunoichi. You all know how strong is Kunoichi in arena PvP and does very well. Titan though dropping down to 6th place. As you can see, you remember he was first a while ago, but I changed my mind a little bit for him after PvPing quite a while. His passive, I dropped his passive to 3 points because I thought that 4 points was too much and was boosting his ranking way too much, while the top 5 classes can not easily but can still deal against Titan in arena. I saw that, I tried that in PvP, and I know that Titan actually struggles against top 5 classes because he can easily get kited, easily gets outplayed by these top 5 classes. So Titan remains on 6th place in ranked PvP. But now let's focus more on the classes that were changed. And first one was Hashashin. Oh, sorry, is Hashashin. I checked him once again for his passive. Yeah, I checked how it worked to be sure that it works like that, and I found out that his passive not only increases his damage by 30%, it also increases the passive's effects. So as you see, the debuffs of 25 AP, for example, or DP damage, or also bleeding, everything is multiplied as well by 30%. So 30% more burning, 30% more bleeding, 30% better debuffs. So all that gives him a great, not great, but good passive, and gives him 1 point for his unique, because other points, that is the damage, is actually seen in the damage itself. Though that 30% extra damage didn't change his fate quite much in his stunlock combo. He still does not the highest damage in one combo because he can't really deal too much damage. Yet, as all of you know, Hashashin can't kill someone in one combo only, but still he remains that very hard class to play against and very easy class to play with. But when you start to play against higher skilled players that know how to deal against Hashashin, is where Hashashin starts to drop down a little bit. So boosting here unique and a little bit of damage brings him to 9th place in arena PvP ranking. Next is Lancer. Lancer received a great passive that boosts her PvP stats for a big chunk and allows her to have these passives always on her. That Lancia Master gives her many stats. If you remember the review that I did, she has great stats for PvP. Yet it's not enough to bring her higher in ranking. Yes, he grew a little bit. Now she is 11th place. She didn't grow in range. She grew in damage. And also she gained 2 points for her unique, because her unique is great. She has damage reduction, she has damage amplification, she has damage reduction, damage reduction decrease debuff for enemies, which increases her damage even further. And of course her cleanse that allows her to cleanse the bleeds, burns and shocks with the Divine Guard, which is spammable and it's easy to use. Yet she still remains not the best class to catch players and not the best class that can evade damage. Any grab class or any class that can break guard can easily deal with Lancer. So only 11th spot so far for Lancer in arena PvP. Yet it's a very strong class. Moving on to Windwalker. Poor Windwalker remained still in a very bad state because she didn't receive any range increases. She didn't receive any big damage boosts. She just received some poor buffs for arena PvP and one skill that isn't really applied for arena, isn't really used for arena. So only useful thing that she gained was the second cast of the Wind Knife and her passive giving her extra 20% critical damage and immune to decrease APDP debuffs. That's not enough to give her lots of points. Still, she gains 1 point for unique and everything else remains the same. So she moves only 2 places above, so not a big deal. And at last, Archer. I don't have Archer on this account. He gained a little bit of damage because of his passive. And he gained 1 point for unique because of the 2% damage dealt from maximum HP of the enemy. So all he gained was slightly more damage and slightly more mobility because of his change of few skills. But it didn't affect too much arena. Arena remained just the same for Archer. So only place 20 for Archer. Okay. Let's move on to mass PvP ranking. Let me change to the LAN and let her farm, and we'll talk about mass PvP ranking. Mass PvP ranking, as we can see, we have Berserker still remains top 1 of them all, still unchanged for him, 94 points. Nobody else can do as good as Berserker. You know all how good is he. Second place remains to Invoker because of the latest buffs that she received, a amazing mobility, which doesn't affect her damage too much, but still I'd say second place is good. Titan third place. Lancer moving on to 4th place because of her unique passives that allows her to be a support class, but not only a support class but also a support class that has lots of damage, lots of survivability, lots of mobility as well. So Lancer now comes to 4th place in my top ranking list. Kunoichi somehow comes to... No, that's arena PvP, sorry. And 5th place goes to Phantasma. Phantasma dropping once again in the top ranking list just because Lancer comes above her and gains that 9201 points because of that great unique passive, and of course the damage increased. And Destroyer also received that buff, that, as I was telling you, Destroyer received that change of his skill. Let me show you what was the change. You all remember, but I will show you once again what was the change. And this change made him kinda clunky for mass PvP when you are getting hit by many players and you are using that skill. If before he was just leaping backward and it wasn't affecting anything, like you will do always the same, now instead of this he is jumping sort of forward and then going a little bit backward, as you can see. So his jump changed, and for mass PvP that makes his immunity kinda bad. You can easily get desynced in this move. Your immunity is kinda is different than it was before. So now I went to Battlefield of the Sun and I had big issues with this skill to survive, because I wasn't really able to do much because of that change of the skill. So because of that, Destroyer is dropping down to 7th place and dropping 1 point in survivability because of that change, and so on. Let's check Hashashin. Where landed Hashashin? Hashashin still remains 7th place. Yes, his passive is good because of the damage, extra damage increased, but that's all. Like, his bleedings aren't that great in open field. His debuffs aren't that great in open field, in my opinion. Still, he gains that one extra little bit of damage, and also of unique skill, and also his damage was increased. Before it was like 12k, now 14k. So his damage increased, and that's all. But still, it's not enough to make him a great class for mass PvP, because he's still a melee class. He's still a class that can't really deal with most of the classes, most of the massive fights, and so on. Next is Archer. Archer moves up to 12th place because of the unique that deals 2% damage to every character that you hit when you have that passive, so 2% of the maximum health. So regardless of your CP, you will still do the same damage to players that have, like, for example, they have 30k HP and you will do extra 600 damage. So no matter what, if you do minimal damage, for example, your skill does 200 damage, you will still do that extra 600 damage because of the maximum HP damage, which is very cool. Makes him quite good class for mass PvP. Also, his DPS raises quite a bit because of the passive itself as well. So, and that range and so on brings him to 12th spot. And at last we have Windwalker, only 29th place, gaining 1 point for unique, and that's all. She still has that mobility, but not big of a deal. So Windwalker will need at least 2 or 3 buffs, or a very good buff that will totally change her mechanics in order to become a good class. So far, Windwalker remains still on the bottom of the list. Moving on to farming speed, here we had some changes for all the 4 classes. Hashashin, because of the increased range, gained 20 more kills per minute. Lancer remains still on 300 kills per minute. Nothing changed for her because she didn't receive any speed ups, so still 300. Then Windwalker gained slightly bit, I don't know why, maybe it's because of that passive or something else, but I rechecked her kills per minute and now it's about 276 kills per minute. And at last, Archer of course remains still on the top of the list with 355 kills per minute. Okay, let's check the last list of the DPS numbers. Still unchanged here for Berserker and Sura being the top classes for the damage in DPS and stunlock combo. Let's check Hashashin. As I said, Hashashin gained slightly bit of damage, but still not enough. For DPS, where is it? Hashashin gained quite a few points because of that extra damage extra 30% damage and extra hit for the skills as well. While for Arena, he gained around, he was about 9,900 damage before, now he gained 1,000 more damage. So not big of a deal, because it's not about the 30% damage increase, it's a little bit different how it works. For Lancer gained as well a buff for the damage. Now she's 14th place in DPS, 15k damage, and as well 14th place for combo damage, 15.1k damage. So an average very good score for damages in both scenarios. Archer gained also a buff. Where is it for DPS? Archer. Wait, I lost him. Archer DPS actually showing off some great numbers because of that passive of 2% health. I did like, for example, he in DPS he does 4 skills, so I calculated how much percentage of the damage in average he will do, and that extra 1200 damage, as you can see, is coming just from the passive itself. So his passive is great for the damage, and if you will spam the abilities that deal damage by HP, you will be able to do quite nice damage. So Archer moving on to 4th place in DPS, so a great DPS turret for Archer here. 4th place, I didn't even expect him to do that well. While in Arena PvP, his damage isn't that great. He is only at 12.4k% damage in his combo, so not big of a deal, but still DPS is doing good. And last, Windwalker in DPS, 25th place, only 13k% damage for DPS, nothing big for her, like that extra 20% critical damage not giving her enough. So Windwalker needs a damage buff, like 20% damage buff. She needs some ranged skills, she needs some immunities on the ranged skills, she needs some forward guard, some stuff that will bring her alive, but for now it's a dead class. And while in stunlock combo, actually Windwalker does well because her combo is kind of fast and she has that grab. It's hard to not deal a lot of damage with the grab, so 16.3k damage in Arena PvP. And that was basically it. Now, before we will check the overall top ranking list, let me answer you the questions that you have here. Not that many, as I can see. Smithy, what emulator are you using? That's BlueStacks, right? Yes, right now I'm using BlueStacks. My LD player somehow didn't want to work well with the streaming, with the Streamlabs. I don't know why, so I changed for now for this stream the emulator to BlueStacks, but normally I use LD player. Okay. Invoker is OP in Arena? No, Invoker is very bad in Arena. Let me show you. Invoker is on 29th place. He's super bad in Arena. He is good in mass PvP. Skill PvP Destroyer. You can enter my Discord. You can check the link in the description. You can enter the Discord and you can find there all the builds that were updated lately. Invoker is okay in Arena, not OP. I wouldn't say it's okay. Okay, reveal FPS Archmage. FPS DPS maybe. With the best class to farm in high CP area. Any class is good, but as you can see here are the rankings for the PvE, let's say. I currently have Phantasma. Any recommendation to change class, and what class would it be? I would say wait for the latest buffs. Fletcher will be updated tomorrow, and as well Sura will be updated tomorrow. I myself might jump to Sura tomorrow, but we will see. Also Archmage is looking nice. We will see next update what Archmage will bring here. Archmage or Fletcher with their passive buff in Korean version. I don't know, we will see. I didn't really like Fletcher buffs, to be honest. Archmage was much better in my opinion. Berserker or Sura? It's all about you. I would go for Sura because I played Berserker already. How do you have so much CP with only orange gear? It's not orange gear, it's chaos gear. 29k. But if you talk about my alts, well then it's because my let's say my family CP is quite big. It's like base family CP is 12.6k. That's why. Alright guys, so let's move on to the overall ranking PvP, overall class ranking. Let me make it slightly bigger and let's check it out. So that's the top ranking list so far for today's update. Tomorrow it might change a little bit. So Berserker gaining first place, still being that beast mode of a character because of that mass PvP ranking 94. Also PvP, he's still a great class that can one-shot you if he catches you, and his skill experiment is also well-rounded, so 93.63 points for Berserker. Titan landing on second place because of good and also good scores for every category. So PvP he is good, mass PvP his passives allows him to do well, and the damage from the spin is nice. Phantasma landing on third place, Destroyer allowing her to move on to third place, still being that great ranged class, all-rounded class for everything. Also her kills per minute keeping her quite quite above the Destroyer. Destroyer losing a bit of points because of that new change to the skill and his clunkiness to that skill. Lan becomes 5th place because of the outstanding arena PvP score, great farming, not the best PvE, not the best mass PvP, but still 5th place due to the score. Be careful because that's just an overall ranking that doesn't really translate all the classes in different scenarios. Lancer moving to 6th place because of the new buffs from I don't know, she was like 20 or so. Now because of the buffs showing great numbers for arena and amazing numbers for mass PvP as well, moving to 6th place. Invoker 7th, Striker going down to 8th place, Corsair 9, and Sura 10th place. Other classes you can see accordingly: Hashashin 11th, Archer 13, and Windwalker 30th place. So Windwalker still remains that very bad class to pick. Don't even think about it till she will get updated better than she is. Sura will most likely move slightly bit more in ranking after his passive rework, and Fletcher as well should move a little bit in ranking after tomorrow's update. Okay, so that was it for that update, for the top classes update for this week. As always, tomorrow I will make a stream for the updates that we will receive, for the patch models that we will receive for tomorrow, and the classes themselves with the skill builds and so on. Thank you so much for coming here. If you have some questions, we have 5 minutes to answer you the questions regarding the top ranking list, and then I'm going to end that stream here. Let's check it out. My CP is over 25k. What is the best class for me? I like farming and Field of Sun. Just advise me. If you like Battlefield of the Sun, then you should think about any ranged class. I'd say Phantasma, for example, Invoker, maybe Striker. I don't think so. Striker, no. Archer. So Phantasma, Invoker, Archer, any range class, it will be great for to enjoy Battlefield of the Sun, because Battlefield of the Sun melee classes will suffer just a bit. Okay, is high CP Corsair good to play? I'd say yes, why not? Like, she's well-rounded, she has great passive for arena, but I don't know, I can't say she's a OP class like some classes can be, like Berserker for example. She is not even close to Berserker, but she's fine. If you like her playstyle, that water style playstyle, then yes, why not? People are just overhyping for Sura. Yes, he will receive an amazing buff, not gonna lie. I hope they update Nova and Kuno passive soon. I hope too. Nova needs for sure a rework. She's struggling quite a bit in all contents because of the many speedy classes. And Kunoichi, she needs something for mass PvP to do better. What is your opinion on new buff on Gladiator in Korea? Well, it's a great buff. It's an interesting. It makes him much more flexible and dynamic, but not big deal. Lan versus Sura, who win? I'm always lose beating Sura in arena. Sura right now is like the way how some people plays it. It's very abusable class right now. He can do lots of damage, more damage than Lan. And if Lan doesn't play right, then he will eat her. Like, she needs to play right. She has more ability, better ability to not to catch him, but to outplay him. But it's hard to play against Sura, not gonna lie. Alright guys, so that was about it. Thanks for coming on the stream, and see ya tomorrow on the patch notes. I'll be there to review the Korean rework patches if there will be so, and as well global patches. I will review them as well. Thank you so much, and see ya next time. Bye bye.